everybody. It's Nancy Westfall, the Colorful Cookie. And hold on, they're all waving at you, but you can't see them yet. You're looking at me. Wait, girls, wait. So we are live. Welcome to our Casey Cookie Year Party number 3. I will turn the camera around so I can scan the crowd and you can see the giveaways, which is not associated with Facebook. Hi, Judy. Hi, Lynn. So I'm going to turn you guys around here. And you can see Mary Ann from this little piggy. And what's your friend's name?
Kelly.
Kelly, her friend. This is Susie with Susie B Bakery. Laurel with Kiss Me Cookies. Mandy, Kelly's Custom Cookies. Laura with Sweet Peas Custom Cookies. Rebecca with 3T Bakery. Kate, what's your bakery name?
I don't have one.
Doesn't.
You're his friend.
She's Cindy's friend, Kate from Florida. Welcome, Kate. This is Liz. Liz,
Cookies by Liz.
Cookies by Liz. Oh, that's easy. I should remember that. And we have Rachel from Sweet Ideas, and then somewhere in there is Cindy from Sugar Chat Cookie Studio. And we'll talk to her in a minute. Hi, Bella. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Gina from Texas. Woohoo! Okay, so if you're watching live, share this with your cookie friends so they can watch too. If you like or comment, it goes farther and your cookie friends will see it. So it'd be great if you would share it. Hi, Donna. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Kate. Lynn says she's here. Hi, Lynn.
That's my friend Heidi. She's from Texas.
So we have giveaways tonight. Not the airbrush system, actually. That's a wonderful new airbrush system from Julia Usher. But we have giveaways, not the alcohol either, and that's not to drink, that is for our painting. We're gonna be playing around after the live today, and we have stations set up for everyone. So I'm giving away some Sweet Sugar Belle cookie cutters from me that I have got for you guys, and boxes and piping a tip and bags, and then we have a Julia Usher stencil, which is beautiful. And another one from Confection Couture and some luster dust. Cindy's giving away a big Sugar Belle package here. We have some things from Simple Cutters. These are things that Cindy has donated. These are things that I have donated. And then Moondust Stencils is also giving away a stencil of your choice. And then Sprinkles Etc., which is Paola Turner. She has this new product called Yolas, and they are so cool. You color on PYOs with those, and we will show you those today also. So she's giving away one box of each set of colors. There's 3 different ones. Let's see, one is aqua, one is, well, Tierra, which is earth, and then Fuego. So I think it's water, earth, and air. Yeah. So anyhow, I'm going to turn you back around. We've got all kinds of good cookie stuff here. But we have tutorials planned. The first one we're going to do will be Rachel from Sweet Ideas. And she's going to show you a PYO and the process from beginning to end. All right. So Cindy, we didn't say hey to you. You're in the house. There's Cindy from Sugar Chat. Cynthia Raven. I always just call her Cindy.
That works. Rachel, I didn't know what spread were you like, so I brought all of them.
Hey, Sherry.
And then you need the airbrush.
Okay.
Right?
So I will, now if you're watching this and you are in, I'm going to turn you back around a second. If you're watching this and you're in the Everything Cookie Stencils group or the Colorful Cookie Club group, if you could go in there and see if anybody's lost and can't find me, I always try to let everyone know that we're live on my page, The Colorful Cookie. So if you could hop in there and let other people know that we are live here, that would be great. So thank you. We'll be here. You know, you can always come back to the live if you do that. I know you can't do both at once. And we'll try to answer your comments as we go. I've got my iPad on here so we can see those too. Now, I will say that I am not good at this camera thing. Things get flipped, and I will try to get you in focus right off the bat so that we don't have to be, you know, jostling you around. So forgive me if I do that. All right, I will turn you down here. Turn you on my iPad. I think I will watch this. Okay, so hold on guys, let me get this set up. and get Rachel a spot here. Oops, turn my volume up. Okay, Rachel, do you have a chair? You want a chair? Okay. Do you want here? You know what I didn't do? Let's see. We can see. We know we can see the cookie map perfectly. So let's see Rachel's face and talk to her for just a minute.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so I'm gonna talk really quickly about PYO's Paint Your Own Cookies. I'm gonna talk about a couple stencils that I've gotten from Nancy with the Colorful Cookie Studio for back to school. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about also, if you don't have a stencil, what I used to do before I knew about them. So let's get into it.
All right. Away we go.
Okay, so nope, I'm good. Oh,
Do you need black color?
I need scissors later. Okay, so really quickly, I'm gonna talk about making your dots. This is probably the first thing you need to do, besides, you know, baking the cookie, making the dough, all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm gonna need that too. Okay, so I made a little template. I know you can get them somewhere online, but all I did was went into Word, I got the shape of the circle, I made it about what size I wanted, copied and pasted it wherever I wanted it on the sheet, printed it out, and that's what I've got. And then, so you're gonna wanna make your dots because you want them to be as dry as possible. So, all you gotta do is get your icing. You want it to be flood consistency. That's not the flood consistency one.
Hey Rachel, on those the transfer sheets, Callie at Sweet Sugar Bell has a bunch of those centers already, and there's a bunch of different sizes that you can download for free. They're
Oh,
on the
okay.
Sweet
So,
Sugar Bell site.
yeah, they're on the Sweet Sugar Bell site.
I'll post a link to
Yeah.
the templates. I'll post a link to the templates
Okay.
that I know of online for everyone to go and print off.
Yeah.
So.
And then also, I want to talk a little bit about, all this is a sheet protector that I put here. I know you can use acetate, but I didn't know what that was when I started the PYO cookie journey. So I went ahead and just did this on my own, and it's worked out. Okay, so you're just going to make your circle, and then you're going to move it out. And then you can just make a bunch of those like I did here. So you want those to be completely dry so that you can airbrush the color later, which we'll show you in a second. Okay, so then you're wanting to flood your cookie. You want it to be as flat as possible so that way you can get your stencil on there as nicely fit as possible. So you want it to be a pretty smooth flood consistency. Where's my black? Just the black. Well, I'm gonna do that in a second. Yeah. Okay, so I have a stencil genie here, and I'm gonna show you how to airbrush it and then also scrape it. We're gonna do a notebook one. Okay. So this is a stencil I got from Nancy with Colorful Cookie Studio. Can I see that? It's just a notebook, and then the second part, it's a two-parter. And it's gonna have the A+, the little holes, and then that blue line. Kind of a cute little smiley face. How adorable is that? Okay.
You guys feel free to answer questions too.
Okay, so just have my cookie's a little thicker, so I'm using a thicker side. Okay, thanks. So I just realized that paper isn't just black, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do this so you guys can see it, but obviously you'll do whatever color you want. No, that I'm using just black color. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this black for scraping is pretty thick, kind of like probably toothpaste consistency, I would say. It's not flooding at all, and that's what you want. You want it to be a little thicker. So you can either put it on your scraper or you can put it straight onto the stencil. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so you just want to scrape it so that you get most of the icing off. Lift it up, and there it is. So I'm gonna let that set for a second before I put the second part on. I'm gonna use the same stencil and show you guys how to do the airbrushing. So this is just the Genie airbrush spray. Just gonna put a little bit. You don't need a lot. A little bit goes a long way. Thanks. You wanna go kind of low and slow. And hold it straight up and down, because you don't want to get under your stencil. Then you want to go over it again, probably in a darker black or a darker color. This is nifty, I need that. And there's your lines. So kind of just let that set for a sec. I'm gonna let those kind of dry for just a couple seconds, and I'm gonna show you about doing a PYO if you don't have a stencil. So you're gonna wanna do a really simple design, something that you can draw on your own. So I have like a piping consistency, so I'm just gonna pipe my cookie. I'm gonna flood it. Okay. So I'm just flooding this really quickly as I don't have very much icing. What do you want me to do?
You can scoot back that way now because all this stuff is showing.
That?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just spreading the icing really fast. This is all stuff you want to do pretty quickly because I'm just going to basically be doing like a wet on wet technique. Okay, so you got your cookie flooded. Then you want a pretty small hole in your color. And then you're just basically gonna pipe your design right on top. So there's your little PYO cookie, and it'll dry, and then they'll be able to paint right on top of that. So it'll all be flush to the cookie. So I want to do an airbrush really fast of another one that's really cute that Nancy made. So this one is an air balloon. How adorable is that? This could also be cool, Kansas City people that are watching. It kind of looks like a shuttlecock a little bit from the Nelson Atkins Museum.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a what?
The shuttlecocks.
You know, the big ones out now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Nelson Atkins Museum.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Or, the places you'll go, even though
Yeah,
I didn't.
that's true.
I didn't use that design, but I came up with another one that would work for
It could even be a whisk, too.
It could be.
That's my favorite game to play. Okay, so make sure you have the right size for your cookie on there, so that it's flush onto your cookie. Okay, and then turn this back on. Scoot it forward.
If you want, no.
Oh,
It's just gonna be upside down for them.
oh, okay. That.
I didn't put that, because every time I fold it, I have to put
Oh, I didn't put more
black.
black.
You can't airbrush that.
I can't airbrush this?
No, it'll
Why?
bleed when
Why?
you paint it. If it's pink.
Oh, am I painting it right now?
It shouldn't because she did what I want, so it shouldn't bleed.
This one will.
Am I painting them right now?
No, but it'll bleed when people keep it with the brush.
Oh, this is what I first do. Oh, this is what I do.
Is that how you do it? It doesn't bleed?
I mean, a little bit.
Oh. Okay.
Like when people do it. Yeah. So, okay, what we were kind of just talking about, this will, when you add your water, like when people actually go to do the PYO part of it, when they add water, it will bleed. But when I do these PYO cookies and I sell them to people, I mean, I tell them just a little bit of water. It's literally like you're doing it in like kindergarten, you know, just a little bit of water with your watercolor. Yeah, and not necessarily even staying the lines. It's just you just need just the tiniest bit of water. Just you're basically waking up the paint that's on those colors. But
Actually, when that dries, we can show coloring with the Yolas, because the Yolas won't bleed at all.
what
So
are they?
The Yolas are the Yolas are the color Crayola. They're not Crayolas, but they're Yolas, which you can color on PYO. So we'll use it for that.
Cool.
You
Okay.
can put the paint dots on there though.
Yeah. Okay. So then, where are we? Oh, there. The paint dots. Okay. So that one's kind of. Okay, so I guess I will need another color on here. I'm gonna think about that.
We're switching out airbrush guns and colors. So you can, if you don't have an airbrush, you can also paint these paint dots with a paintbrush dipped in the gel color or the airbrush color. Either one works. It's a lot easier to airbrush, of course. And then some people will just use a round sponge dauber. You know, you just buy at the craft store. It's got a wood handle and it's round. And they just actually use that sponge to put the color right on the cookie.
I've done it with just paintbrush right on the cookie on the bottom.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Some people just paint it right on the cookie with a brush or a sponge dauber. So either way works. We're having trouble with hooking up the airbrush. Hold on just a second.
Someone
We got-
asking if the Yolos are edible.
Yes, the Yolos are edible and they're FDA approved. And if you go to facebook.com sprinkles, etc., you can see information on those.
Okay.
Or you can
That's
just
okay.
search sprinkles ETC, and it should pop up on Facebook. And Paola, if you're watching, you can post your link in the comments there for people. She has an Instagram also.
Another question, if I have a quick release airbrush, are the brands interchangeable? If I wanted to purchase a second gun, or do I have to stay with
Yeah, because I just had black.
Cindy would know the answer to that because she has a lot of airbrushes. Cindy, Maxine has a question about the airbrush guns.
Yes.
If she owns a quick release airbrush, are the brands interchangeable if she wants to purchase a second gun, or does she have to stay with the brand?
I mean, that's a tricky question. Some are and some aren't. It
Yeah.
just depends on how the airbrush is made. I mean, I have some that will work fine with that, but I have a couple others that don't because they're just a different type of gun.
Okay.
So,
So kind of gun you're buying to go with the airbrush that you have.
I mean, it's easier that way. Like both of those are genie guns,
Mhm.
you know. The other airbrush that we have that we're gonna demo today is Julia's new one,
Uh-huh.
and it has a quick release too, but it's a different connector. It's a Badger, so it's made by a different
Okay.
company.
Okay. Okay.
All right, we got the gun working. Sorry, thanks for sticking with us.
You're welcome, Beverly.
Okay, so I'm just airbrushing this on the color. So if you have them just like made like this, it's so easy to just go over it, your whole row of all the reds that you need, change your color, go over all of the yellows you need, that sort of thing, and just go on down the rainbow or whatever colors you need. So that's that part. Okay. So then what you can do once they're dry, which I don't have one that's dry, but you'll just lift it up right off. And again, these aren't completely dry, that's why you'll see that under there. It'll lift off completely if it's been drying for long enough. And so if you have a big cookie like this, all you can do, or all you have to do is just like put a little bit of stiffer royal icing and stick it right on top. So depending on how big you've made them, you can put them all the way around or just down here at the bottom, but that's that one.
Okay.
Okay, so then I'm gonna go back and scrape the other one and then do the 2-layer one.
Okay. Do you want this?
The genie, yeah.
What are you looking for?
The other part to the notebook one.
Right, A plus?
Yeah. Okay. So. Okay.
You have to do the line and the dots separately.
Right, right.
So that's how I had to do it to fit them all on one stencil. So
That makes
if
sense.
you have
Yeah. So Nancy did this pretty cleverly. Where's that black
need
piece of
black
paper?
piece of paper.
Yeah. Okay. So she set all of the pieces on one stencil, which is pretty awesome. There's the dots and then the line. So you kind of have to, you can either just, you know, if you're really good at separating them and just spraying this part, or you can cover it with another piece of paper
Yeah,
or something.
I just use a piece of paper.
Yeah. Or you can tape it. I've done that before on a stencil.
Do we use back of that
Sure.
to cover the other side with?
Yeah. That might still be a little wet, so I'm just going to cover this stencil. And I'll go ahead and just use the red so you guys can see the other color on there. And then kind of did a little bit right, too much right there, but you guys get the idea. So there's your little dots, and then so then once these dry, these can also be like cool PYO cookies too, because you can just paint on them, but you can also use the other things that she has on this sheet, the little A+ or the happy face. So, and then let's go back to the one that we need to scrape on there. Oh, I just made a mess of that. I just made a mess. Okay. Actually, this one's, we'll use a skinnier scraper because this is a skinnier part. There's your line. And my cookie's kind of too big for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
big cookie.
Yeah.
The best kind.
Yes.
That's what it is. I like my cookies big.
I do too. There's the lines, and then we'll put a little smiley face on this one.
But you would let those dry in between.
Yeah, you would let these dry in
We're
between.
just hurrying so you can kind of see the effect here.
Just see the little effect
You'd
there.
have to let them dry in between.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's PYOs.
Now, where is the? Can I see the balloon? Yeah. Okay. So, Mandy, would you hand us the Yolas over there? How is this dry? I'm gonna touch it. Nope. I don't think so. Maybe we just need a blank cookie. Let's don't show it on this one. Let's just use a blank cookie. You can put the Yolas down there.
Like cookies.
That hot air balloon is still wet, so we won't color it. But these are the Yolas. I opened them, and actually I'm melting them into a silicone mold. And these are FDA approved, and Paola did post her link to Sprinkles, etc. These are something new, and you can read all the information on her website. But she actually sent me this as an example. It's just like melting real crayons. You melt them in a silicone mold in the oven for like 5 minutes on 350, and so you can put these with your PYOs and use them as a crayon. And so Glinda is making a crayon mold, and so you can actually, I had her make us some molds. She's not here yet, but I'm going to melt them into crayon molds, and so you'll get a crayon that's multicolored with the PYO.
so cool.
So you can color on there and see, yeah, and you can turn the, to get a different color, yeah. So these are the coolest crayons, and it's not chocolate, it's FDA approved. The ingredients are listed on here, and I have my contacts in, but that doesn't mean I can see them. So they are,
Oh, that's not dry. That's
Hold
not dry.
on.
Sorry, guys.
uh-oh, did it smash it?
Yes,
Yeah, it has
I
to be
did.
dry.
Yeah, it has to be dry.
It's got vegetable fat, the regular, it's got colors in it, but it is food safe, and it's called Yolas, and she's giving one of each of these sets away. And if you want to know more, she did post her link to her Facebook. She's selling them on her Facebook and Instagram right now, I believe. But you can find out more there. But they are food safe, they're FDA approved, and they are really cool. Let me take one out of the package here so I can show you. And you can see where I took the orange and I just cut a little bit off the end to melt in the mold that Glinda's gonna give me, but there's pink, red, green, blue, purple, it's all colors. And you can color right on the cookie. So when I talked to Paola about these, I was like, oh my gosh, people are gonna flip over these, they're so cool. But you can contact Paola Turner, she's Sprinkles, etc. And she did post her link here in the live, so. All right, thank
Cool.
you, Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna pull. Who's gonna be next? We'll pull you guys back up here so you can see. And I'll talk for a minute. Mandy, are you going next? Okay. They're gonna kind of pick up the stuff here, and I'll talk to you guys for a minute about the colorful cookie. I have, if you're not a member of the Everything Cookie Stencils Facebook group, it's for people who, like cookie stencils, who cut their own cookie stencils. I teach people how to cut their own cookie stencils in the Colorful Cookie Club, which is an extension of the Colorful Cookie. And the Everything Cookie Stencils group is a really large group of people who airbrush, who use stencils, who have cutting machines, who cut their own stencils. But the Colorful Cookie Club is a monthly paid membership, and it's a separate Facebook group. So if you want to learn how to cut your own stencils, I can show you how to use the software for the Cricut and the Silhouette, and you can be cutting your own. I'll show you while we're waiting. Where's that black piece of paper? Hang on just a second. Oh, it's okay. So this month I taught them how to make an apple PYO for back to school. And I teach them how to design every kind of stencil, actually. I taught them also here how to bridge an alphabet to make monogram stencils. Hi, Tanya. Hello, Ruth. I can see your comments now. Hi, guys. Okay, while we're waiting though, I'm going to talk to you about the difference between vinyl and a screen stencil and a traditional plastic stencil. We get that question all the time. People don't really understand the difference. But before I do, I want to show you something else before I forget. This stencil, Mandy did some cookies with this stencil, remember? The sugar skull. This stencil right now is a freebie at sofancy.com. So if you will go to sofancy.com, you can go to the Colorful Cookie shop there, because I have an online shop in Sofancy as well with a ton of other wonderful designers who make t-shirt designs for cookie bakers, because I requested that. And so there's lots of t-shirt designs available at sofancy.com. And then there's a free cookie stencil just for this week. So get over there and grab it while you can. It's in the freebie section. And check out the other designs while you're there too, because there's some good baker designs for t-shirts. Also, let's talk about the difference here in these stencils. Where's my screen? Hold on. We got a whole pile of stuff down here that I've kind of got to sift through. And I brought the screen separately to show you. You see my screen? It's see-through. It's hard. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Okay. So this is screen. And some of you, when you think of vinyl and screen stencils, you need to think of silk screening on t-shirts, because that's exactly what it is, only we're going to do it on a cookie. Yes, Karen, I can teach you how to do that if you want to learn to cut stencils. It's totally doable. So this is the screen, and it is 110 weave. And if you go to the colorfulcookieco.com, would somebody post my link, thecolorfulcookieco.com? I have a page called Machines, Materials, and Supplies, and there's a link to this on there that you can order it from Amazon. But this is the screen that goes behind the vinyl. And if you can see this, I did these this was a metallic vinyl. Typically, these are done on clear if you want to be able to see through it to your cookie. But it's really hard to weed the clear stuff, and it's really hard for you to see it when I'm on a live, so I make it in color. So here is one I made with gold, and you can see it says He is Risen. Well, in between all of this, you know, where the openings are, I'm going to hide your comments for just a minute because I can't see what I'm showing you, is the screen, because the screen is stuck to the back of this. This is actually heat transfer vinyl. This is not adhesive vinyl. So there are two kinds of vinyl stencils. There are heat transfer vinyl that is made with actually heat transfer, HTV. And then there is this kind that is made out of adhesive backed vinyl, which is Oracle 651, which is super sticky. So you can iron it on or you can stick it on, and that's important to remember. And people always say, well, what's the difference? It's preference. There's no difference. These are a little thicker. This vinyl is a little thicker, just a little. This vinyl is a little bit thinner, and you iron it on. The counters inside of the letters, the little bitty area, like the area inside the E, when you iron this on, it stays stuck. That's why I prefer the iron-on. If you stick it on, sometimes these counters, like this, see the center of the E and what's in the middle of the O there, sometimes those will come off. Another question I always get is, well, do you scrape on the vinyl side or do you scrape on the screen side? And you'll get a million different answers, guys. It's preference. Just like when people ask me about bridging, I always say it's preference. You scrape on the side you want to scrape on. So what you'll notice here Let me see if I brought one that you scrape on the screen side. I've done it both ways. So, I know this looks, see that looks like it's going the right direction, but you're flipped, remember? So let me throw a brain twister out there. This is adhesive-backed vinyl, and I wanted to scrape on the screen side. So I know this is flipped to you, but it's actually going the right direction. So when I would lay this on a cookie, I would be scraping on the screen side. I prefer to scrape on the screen because I don't want the counters. I don't want to scrape these 100 times and have them come loose. Some people say my counters never come loose, and some people's don't. And like I said, it takes practice, and it's just your preference. So I like to scrape on the screen side. Let me show you this one. Happy anniversary. This is actually, I would scrape on the vinyl side. You see, this is the shiny vinyl side. I'd be scraping on this side. I don't know if you can see how that's matte, because that's where the screen is, on the back of that I stuck it to. Now, if that's clear as mud, you can always email me or post in the Facebook group if you have a question about vinyl and screen. Let me show you a stencil that is bridged so you can see the difference. Vinyl and screen stencils do not have bridges. Do you see how let me find a letter on this stencil. Oh, this is an A, and it's an uppercase A. Do you see how there are no bridges to connect this counter? I can't see where I'm pointing. I'm going to get close. In the P, this counter it's attached to the screen, so it's stuck there. We don't have to have anything to attach it to the vinyl on either side. It's stuck there, so there's no bridge to connect it. When you look at this, oh, gotta have the piece of paper again. Mandy, where did I put the, oh, here. It's upside down. It's white when it's upside down. Okay, so here is a traditional plastic stencil, and you see the bridges? Look at the bridges there on the bottom of the loop of that A. In the middle of the A where it crosses, do you see the bridge, the stencil material? It's there because it has to keep, if I didn't, the center part of the A up here would be a counter, and it would fall out, but I bridged it so the counter would stay put. And so traditional plastic stencils have bridges, and that's areas where the stencil material keeps the A in there, it keeps it intact. Whereas the traditional, the vinyl and screen stencil, which is not traditional, it's actually kind of a newer method. I learned this method from Kelly Mills. She's the one who taught me all about this. And see the counter in that A? Oh, it is the same A, good. See the counter in that A? There are no bridges connecting it because this is adhesive-backed vinyl and it sticks to the screen. Okay, so that's the difference in a vinyl and screen stencil, and this is adhesive-backed. And the other one is heat transfer vinyl, and there's screen on the back of this one you see, and there's screen on the back of this one. The vinyl, it just goes on the top of the screen. This is a traditional stencil, monogram, and that's the difference between the two. So, okay. You can airbrush with the screen stencil, and we are going to show you that, and we're going to show you scraping royal icing over it so that you can see the consistency. So we're just not going to do that yet, but we will, yes. I just kind of wanted to throw that in there while we were waiting on them. Okay, Mandy.
Did you talk about airbrushing with the silk screen, how nice that works?
It does. Actually, oh, sorry, guys. Seeing the side of my face there. Cindy, I made her a stencil, and she just made a beautiful set of cookies with it. And I will try to post it in the comments here so that you can see the difference, because you'll notice it's one solid word with no gaps. And those gaps are the bridges. Yes, Rebecca's gonna demo the airbrushing and the scraping on the screen stencils and the traditional stencils. So for now, we have Mandy showing you some of Glenda from Decorate the Cake. She just walked in, she's a little bit late. She had to deliver the cutest hippo cakes this morning. And she's gonna show you some things. She's gonna show you some things with Glenda's molds. So hold on just a second, I'll turn you back down here. Oops.
Okay, I don't have a lot prepared because I wasn't planning on showing anything today, but Glenda from Decorate the Cake was so nice to, can you see that?
I don't know yet.
Oh no.
Yep.
To share these molds with me. Okay, so can you see? Not yet. What? Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Glenda from Decorate the Cake makes these amazing molds, and so here are just a few of them that she made for me. So these are the nursery rhyme ones. Can you guys see this?
Yes. we
Three
can
little
see it.
pigs, Humpty Dumpty, and then these cute little baby faces. And so I would say most of the time these are used for like modeling chocolate or fondant, but I wanted to try to bake cookies in them. So here's what I got. So this one cracked a little bit, but and let me turn this around so you can see it right. So what I did was I tried two different things. One was I rolled my dough out like normal, and normally what I would do is freeze those sheets so when I go to use them they cut really nice and firm, but it doesn't work with a mold. So while it was still room temperature dough, I rolled it out flat and then I just turned the mold upside down, smashed it in, and then took it off and then cut around it. And so you end up with something that looks like this. So here's the three little pigs, and it just gives the cookie 3 dimensions. The other way I tried was getting a ball of dough and you know, leveling it out into the mold and getting it flat and then turning it over and then peeling it off. And so you can see kind of the difference. The one that I smashed the mold onto the dough got a little bit flatter, and the one that I put the dough into the mold and flattened out was a little bit more raised. And so here's what the little baby face looked like. It gets a little bit cracked when you then bake them. And I just had chocolate at the time when I was playing around with this, so I think it would have been better had I done some, like here's one that I did with vanilla dough, and this was a different mold. There were flowers, and then I painted over it later after it dried. Here's one that I did with a mold that was alligator skin. Thought that was cute. And so and then what I did with these was go over the chocolate later and paint them. So this has no frosting on it, it's just straight painted dough, and I used straight gel color and I mixed it with a little bit of Everclear to thin it out. The color would show a lot better if it was a vanilla flavored dough instead of the chocolate. But I just wanted to show kind of what that looks like using dough in a mold. That's it.
And
Those guys.
And those are silicone?
They are,
Someone asked you.
yes, they are silicone.
Asking, did you bake them in the oven?
So,
Unmold them and then bake them?
yeah, good question. I unmolded them and then I actually put them in the refrigerator for a little bit to let them get hard, and then I put them in the oven. Now, I was told that you can actually bake in the mold. However, it will degrade the mold over time a lot quicker than if you were to not bake in it.
You needed to make multiple cookies of the same ingredient.
You would have to do one at a time, yeah. So this is just stick it in the dough, release it, do the next one. You know, you could do a whole bunch of these. So just a different technique to try. Okay.
Okay, who's next?
you want me to do the eyeballs?
Yes, we want to do the eyeballs.
I need to go heat up the isomalt though. So,
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
So,
Could you go do that for me?
yeah, you want to go, Rebecca? Well, while you're heating that up, do you want Rebecca to go, or do you want us to wait for you to heat it? It just takes a little bit. How long does it
Well,
take
the
to
thing is, I have to heat it and use
Oh,
it. so
right
it's
away.
like,
Okay.
You know,
All right. We're gonna have to let Cindy heat up her isomalt. I don't know anything about isomalt. I've seen it and it's so cool, but I've never used it before myself. So I'm gonna learn something new today
I think
too.
Glenda's going to use it in some other
Oh,
molds.
she is?
Yeah, she
Okay.
got here and she's going to do with some
I saw her
chocolate and
come in.
stuff.
Okay.
But
Here, you want to be on camera?
Oh, yeah, okay.
We want Cindy to. Hi.
Hi,
Cindy.
Hi. I went to, I taught at a retreat last year with Erin Brinkowitz from Lucky Girl Cookies, and we did a Friday the 13th spooky, themed. I did a scary clown. She did a jar full of eyeballs. It was really fun. So she taught me how to do this, and she gave me the mold, and she gave me some of the wafer paper. She got them from Simi Cakes. That's who made the wafer paper, and I'll show you what it looks like. And then I'll show you, because Rachel's heating it up for me, so you got to kind of use it when it's hot. There you go.
They look like glass
little
eyeballs.
eyeballs. And so you just cut them.
They're heating it.
They're heating. Oh,
Yeah, but
okay.
they're not using yours.
Why?
Because Linda got some, she's going to put it in this.
Oh, but I want mine.
Cindy,
Okay,
Cindy
anyway.
wants hers.
Um,
What are they heating up? Someone
So
else's?
this is the eyeballs. Can you
They
see
look like
them?
glass eyeballs.
They do. I mean, they really do. So
And Cindy improvised. We'll let you tell her little trick she had to come up with because
I need to heat it.
she had to.
Oh, okay.
She had to improvise to. She thought. Well, some people use a blow. Is it called a blowtorch?
No, it's like the creme brulee
The cooking.
torch. You know
I
what
call
I
it.
mean?
I call it a blowtorch.
the
because
torch, you
it's just a
mean-
mini blowtorch.
Like
Actually.
for, when they're doing creme brulee and they
Yeah,
caramelize
I
the
have
top
one.
of it. Well, I don't have one, and I had forgotten because when I took them out of the mold. So this is the mold. It's an eyeball mold. So this is the mold. And when I took them out, they were dull. They weren't shiny like we did. And Rachel was at the class too, as was Mandy. And
There it is.
they were both like, "Oh, you need the torch." And I said, "Oh, I don't have a torch." So I was trying to improvise, but what happened is I have I don't know what these are. They're crafting
Heat gun.
and it worked perfectly. So
That is what you do when you don't have a blowtorch.
yes, you improvise.
I
So,
can't remember the name
do you
of it.
wanna
Anybody know
turn
the
it
official
down?
name of that food torch? Yeah. All right.
While this
Let
is
me
hot.
turn you down so while this is hot so you can see it. Oops. Okay. Is it? Yeah.
Is that what they're called? No.
Okay.
So you want you heat up the isomalt, and it's the product that I use is Cake Play, and they are little nibs, and you can get them in clear or color. So you want to pour this in the mold, and then you're going to take your eyeball wafer paper, and what you do is you drop it in with the paper side down. There's like a shiny on the back where the paper is mounted, and you want to get it down in there and pour a little bit more over the top. Thank you. And then take another eyeball, and I'm doing different colors just because I think that is super creepy for Halloween and very cool. So I'm just pushing it down into under the isomalt. And you do need to be careful with isomalt. It is hot and it can burn you. I was trying to pipe something the other day, and you have to use parchment. Obviously you can't use plastic because it will melt the plastic, and it's just very hot. So this is Glenda's cup. This is awesome. It's a little silicone cup, but this is, and you gotta let this set for a second. You can put it in the fridge and it'll heat up, but this is the Cake Play. This is the isomalt product. I don't know, can they see it?
Yeah, that should be fine.
And it comes in different colors. There are little nibs, and I just use the clear because you can add coloring to it and make whatever color that you want. It does dry pretty quick, so if you're doing something fine and delicate, it can be tricky. But like these eyeballs, it's going to take a second for them to
How long did you say it
solidify.
takes for them to set up?
Not very long. I mean, just like a few minutes. I mean, you can set them in the fridge and they'll go faster, but
this is what the end looks like, and I'll show you as this is drying. So these are the ones that are finished.
So, because I was trying to look at comments, can you leave this in here and remelt
Yes,
it if
yes.
you have a lot?
Yes. So yeah, good.
Oh, you're going to talk about that? Okay.
Yeah, so this is what she had it in it's rock hard. Like you wouldn't want to bite into that. So this, you'll never get this out of here. You can remelt it and everything, but it's always going to stay in there. So that's why Glenda kind of recommended putting it in this silicone guy, because this is stuff that's in there. You can crunch this up
Crack it
and you can get it out, no problem. So.
and put it back in the
And
bag.
you can reheat it. Well, I've used this several times, but you can only heat it like in 20 seconds at a time because it'll get too hot if you put it in there longer. And I'll just use this and it'll crack, and if I have left, I put them back in there. But like yesterday when I was working on this, I had a little bit left. I just soaked it in water, and eventually, like sugar, it just, dissolves. So this is, and it's a Pyrex cup, that's why, but I want some of those silicone things.
So
If you have to do multiple colors.
I know that they can't hear you, Glenda. It sounds kind of muffled, but Glenda said she does use these silicone measuring
They're
cups.
awesome.
Not really to measure, probably, but
I like that you can
when you're
crush it
done,
right in
you
there.
can crush it.
know?
And she said she stores it in a Ziploc bag and just reuses it over and over, until she runs out. So those are really cool. And that did get really hot. That's still very warm, and that was microwaved a while ago. So yeah, that's neat. Okay, so she's gonna see if this is ready yet, and then she will use the heat gun on that
Yeah, I just need the heat. So
to shine it up.
yes. So then this is pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead. They just pop
So
out.
it doesn't take long at all.
No. So see, the side that was open is shiny, but the side that was in the mold is like milky, right? So you want to shine that up. So the torch is easier, but we are creative people, and now they kind of fly around. So I may have to.
Maybe you'll burn your fingers.
No,
Try to go
it's-
straight down.
Yeah. There. It's okay. So.
It's kind of just melts the
You
top.
just, it's just like melting the surface so that you can get a sheen. See how cool that looks? Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, girls.
You get the eyeballs from, and that was wafer paper, right?
It's wafer paper, and it was from Simi Cakes.
Simi, how do you spell that?
S-I-M-I.
S-I-M-I cakes. Can somebody post that link?
They reformulated the sheets.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, so Liz from the Sugar Geek Show is the one who
They
made
can't
it.
hear you. Actually.
Sorry, I know they can't. The sheets no longer have the backer, it's just on.
It's just the
like,
paper.
the icing, like the icing frosting sheets.
Do you wanna
so
say
it's
that in there?
flexible. So
Oh.
you can just cut them out, it's backed on white, you can just cut them out.
Okay.
as
That,
close.
well, that's, I think that's the, that's what,
Well, those have the acetate backers.
Oh.
The new ones don't have that at all.
I
They're
see.
thicker.
okay. Jessica was just saying that they've reformulated them, and it was at Sugar Geek, is it Liz from,
Yeah.
and she's doing them now, or?
Well, she designed them.
Oh, I see,
So
okay.
they reformulated them because the wafer ones can crack.
I
around
see.
the edges.
Yes, because when I was cutting these, I had to cut several because,
Those are good ones.
yes, like at the edges, they get dry or something, and yes, that's a good point. So,
Those look real.
yeah, so then you, that'll be good to know, to get the
Yeah.
new ones, so they'll just melt in there, so.
Glenda, do you want to show your molds?
Yeah, that's just a good transition.
Yeah.
Come on.
She doesn't. You don't have to be on camera, just your hands. Okay, Glenda doesn't want to be on camera. Okay, Rebecca, you're up. Rebecca, you're up. Okay, so
Rebecca needs the, anyway.
Rebecca is
I'm-
going to show you. Did you want to hold those up one more time?
We're
There they are.
watching you.
Rebecca is going to show you stenciling with a vinyl and screen stencil. She's never done it before, so she'll be a first timer. Let's see how easy or hard it is. Do you have icing for Rebecca to use?
She's gonna airbrush, I think.
And I
Oh,
think
is she
she's gonna use
spray
icing too, yeah.
Maybe she could use that Rachel had, the black, that,
Okay.
that was good for stenciling.
Okay.
I think it needs a lid on
Oh, I was going to while she's getting ready, I'll show you guys this. This is a back to school PYO that I put in the shop for anybody who wants back to school PYO. It's a little schoolhouse with an apple for the bell. It's so cute. So, okay, Rebecca, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, you want to talk for just a minute? We'll put Rebecca on camera even though she doesn't want to be.
This fit on here.
Yeah.
So I scrape it on this side.
Mm-hmm. Okay, say hi, Rebecca.
Hi everybody, I'm Rebecca from 3T Bakery, and looks like we're all gonna learn new things today, including myself. So what we're gonna do here is, I have been really interested
Do you want me to? Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Never mind.
I have been really interested in the silk screen stencils. So I had asked Nancy to help me with these. So I'm gonna kind of learn as I go because she has made some silk screen stencils. So I'm gonna try them out along with airbrushing and trying out the new Julia Usher airbrush machine that has also just came out. So let's try this.
All right, we'll turn you guys down here on the cookie.
What color do you, they're red. Okay, maybe not.
Okay, let's move some of this junk out of your way.
Do you put this in here?
Mm-hmm. You can put
Yeah,
that
it needs
in
to
there.
face the way, or it depends on whatever. Yeah, that's probably right, because that cookie looks like it's right on this side. Yeah. If this is the thinner side, that's the part you probably want down on the bottom. There you go.
No, you're backwards. Yes.
Okay. So can you see me?
Let's see. I think you're right in the center. They should be able to see just fine.
Okay. So what I did was I placed the stencil. The screen side is going to be facing up in the stencil genie. And I'm going to place this on my cookie. Do we want to airbrush or scrape first?
It's up to you. Whatever you want to
Okay.
do. Do you have the icing?
It needs color.
Yes.
Yeah, we need the color. Could you use your genie scraper? Your pink
Yeah,
genie
but I
scraper?
brought up several down. There's a couple more here. This one will work fine, or there's one right there.
I'm used to using this one.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay. So here we go. I'm going to put some icing on the end of this little spatula here, and I am just going to scrape downwards, and we're just gonna see how this comes out. Wish me luck, everybody. Looky there. See? So excited.
Beautiful.
She is
Perfect. That's
she's
awesome.
a pro. Look at that. Wow. Perfect. This is okay, so let's show them this consistency.
Yes. So
Okay.
go ahead.
So you
Rachel
see
said
that
like toothpaste, and I think that's a good.
it's
Yeah.
I think it's runnier than toothpaste.
It is a little runnier than I would say it's almost like soft serve yogurt.
It is
Or yogurt.
I'm trying to-
Melted yogurt.
I know you guys probably can't. Yeah.
Mayonnaise.
I mean, if you count the seconds on that falling back in there, it's going to take a long time. We don't have time to wait. But yeah, it's. I think it's a little softer than toothpaste. It's not like ketchup. You think? I don't think it's. Yeah, ketchup is a little runnier than that. But that's the best thing to relate it to is like a soft toothpaste.
Yeah.
I hope you guys can see that. So it's not super
Screen
thick,
side
but
is
it's not
up.
super thin.
So
And honestly, you guys, it just takes practice. If it's too thick, put a little squirt of water in it and just keep trying it until you get it right.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to do, that was scraping on the screen side.
Yeah. So
Here's
we
what
had a
I'm
couple
scraping-
questions again, just to
Oh, okay.
recap. So I put the vinyl side on the cookie. The screen side was up, where the icing was placed on the screen. So, okay.
You have another cookie?
Yeah, I do. Where did my cookies go?
I don't know, where'd they go? Oh, there they are. Okay. You know, this one may be
Okay.
too big for your cookie.
I think it'll work.
Now again, you guys, these are on colored vinyl because if I would have cut these on the clear vinyl, even the HTV that is clear that we use, you would not be able to see this very well. And obviously she can't see through the cookie either, but this is for demonstration purposes, so that you can actually see the stencil. Yeah, we need a bigger cookie. Do you have a bigger cookie, Cindy?
Yeah.
Let us get her a bigger cookie, because that's, oh, here's a big one. Rachel has a big one. Yeah. There you go. That's good. And you can kind of feel, if you use colored vinyl, you can feel around to where your cookie is, like see here in the ends. So you probably should go that way a little.
Go this way.
Yep.
Now, why is it that on,
There's a hole
why?
in that cookie. Was it? I don't think that was dry yet. I pushed it down.
okay.
It's fine. Okay. It'll be okay. She won't scrape that hard, I don't think.
Am I scraping or
I
brushing?
pushed a little too hard. Oh, airbrushing is fine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I have a quick question on this one. So on the last one, I put vinyl down, screen up. So how come this one is?
That's the brain teaser. There we go. Okay. So when you're creating a vinyl stencil in the software, you either mirror or you don't mirror.
Okay.
So, and it's different for HTV and for adhesive back vinyl.
Okay.
And it's, guys, it is a brain teaser. So for adhesive back vinyl, you do not mirror because you're cutting on the vinyl side. You do not mirror because the adhesive is on the back and you're sticking it to your screen.
Okay. Got it.
So the HTV is a whole nother story. If you want to scrape on the, I have to even think about it sometimes. If you want to scrape on the screen side, I have to think about it in my software. I can't just think about it in my head. It's even a brain teaser for me sometimes. So if you are using heat transfer vinyl, you do not mirror it if you want to scrape on the screen side. I'm saying it backwards. I don't know. I'm going to have to sit down here and think about it while she's doing this. I do have to really think about it still, and I've done this 100 times. So, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so on this demonstration, I'm also going to be demoing a brand new airbrush. This airbrush is Julia Usher's brand new airbrush. It does have a plastic lid that goes on the well as a cap that goes on the needle. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this? It does have a pressure release trigger. And what's also neat about this gun is the pressure valve is also here on the handle as opposed to on the machine where a lot of them are. It also does come with the moisture gauge. However, we do not have that on this component because we don't have a lot of moisture in the air today here in Kansas, but in a lot of high moisture climates, it does come in handy. So it does come with the moisture chamber as well. So this is not the airbrush that I'm used to using, so this is a new experience for me as well, so we'll see how this works. Here we go. We're going to use red, so I'm just going to put a couple drops of red into the chamber. And I like putting the lid on. I don't know how y'all do it without the lid because I'm a mess, a hot mess all the time. Okay. I will. Oh shoot. Yeah, it is a very high, so it does come out very fast. I'm barely pushing on this trigger. So there we go.
How's it look?
Looks good. We had a little dip in the cookie, so
Yeah,
we didn't get a lot of ink down here.
It was all the
So,
way dry and I pushed my finger into it. Whoops.
so yeah. Do we have any others that we want to demo?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for letting me learn and demo with you all. I had a lot of fun.
Okay. Let's see, who is next? I think, is that everybody? Cindy. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to show? Nope. I think that's all for us. What's she gonna?
She's
yes,
gonna do
she's
Sugarvale.
she's gonna do Sugarvale. I think she's gonna do that on her page. She's Sugar Chat Cookie Studio. Can someone post a link to Cindy's Facebook page? She's gonna show the Sugarvale on her page. So, what I would like for you to do, because we are having the giveaways, is to comment with your name in the comments here for a chance to win. And what I'll do, if you'll comment with your name, it'll tag you, and I'll be able to contact you that way if you're a winner. So comment with your name one time, please, to enter for the prize. Is Cindy in there? Oh. Oh, okay. And that will enter you to win the prizes. So Cindy is she's gonna give away a Sugarvale set also, but she is going to do that live on her page because a lot of her followers want to learn about Sugarvale too, and they may not have found us. So what we'll do is say thank you for coming. We really appreciate you watching and hope you learned something new. Comment with your name. I'm going to give you some time to do that right now before we end. And you can always like and follow the Colorful Cookie because we have these parties every once in a while, and then sometimes I'll just have a cookie friend come over and it'll just be the two of us doing a live together and showing you different techniques. And we always take suggestions too if there's something in particular that you want to see. Bless you, somebody's really sneezing over there. So if you're interested in learning how to make stencils, you can always find more information on the colorfulcookieco.com. That's my page, and you can see more about the Colorful Cookie Club there. There's a link at the top called, I don't know, it says Colorful Cookie Club details or something like that, and you can click on it. I made that link, but I can't remember what it says, but you can find it there. And there's a link at the very top too that's kind of blue, and you can click on that and see more details. It's been a while since I made that link. So anyway, comment with your name if you haven't, and I'm gonna tell you bye. And we will see you on Sugar Chat. Give us like 5 minutes so Cindy can get her Sugarvale stuff set up here. And that stuff is awesome. You will want to see that. I love it. It looks beautiful on a cookie. So, see you in a minute. Bye.